Well, good morning, everyone. It's Renata here from RW Psychology. Welcome to Surviving Separation. I'm really glad that I'm bringing this to you today because I think it is a really, really needed discussion to have. Well, today you're joining me in clinic. I'm just going to wait to see if I know that there's a few people that will be joining us today, and it takes a while for Facebook to send out the notification, so I might wait a minute or two. But I'm also going to be posting this afterwards. So if you do start late, not that you're going to hear this message, I will be posting it on the page later so you can watch it start to finish if you do come in midway. So, surviving separation. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to get notifications either. If I get comments along the way, I'm not sure. So we'll just see how we go. And we will just wing it as we go. We are live. This is what happens. we make it work. So today we're talking about separation. And if you're joining me today because you have experienced a recent separation, I'm really sorry to hear that news. It is a very difficult time for lots of people. It also, the duration of how recently it's occurred can also make things quite different. In severity of feelings. So obviously we're going to be talking a lot about that today. What I'm hoping to cover is what's normal. Also how we kind of define separation. Talking about what might help. What are some things that might help? And also when to seek help. So they're the main topics that I'll be covering today. So we'll start off, what is normal? So you've separated from someone. A lot of people ask me, what's normal? I feel so not normal. I feel like I'm losing my mind. And it's a really common thing that people say. It is really normal for someone who has experienced a separation to experience a complete mixture of feelings. Often a little bit like a washing machine of feelings, angry, sad, worried, upset, very emotional, crying quite easily. It's a very normal response. Also experiencing strong feelings at really random places. You might be driving along the street, nothing appears to have happened, and you find yourself in a flood of tears. You might be in the middle of Coles, and you find yourself feeling really, really emotional. That is all quite normal. And I can see we've got some people watching along. Hello, I can't see who you are, so I can't acknowledge you, but I'm glad you're joining me. It's good to have you. So, experiencing strong feelings in random places is completely normal. It's also really normal to get triggered by your senses. So, smell is a really big one when you've separated from someone. You don't realize it until after you've left that person or you've been left, that you can be triggered by your things that you see, photos, pictures, clothing items, smells that you might remember, memories that might come to mind, things, music, things that you can hear. All of these senses can actually trigger emotional response as well. So that's all completely normal, and it can also make sense of why you might be having these triggers in random places. You might be driving and you hear a song. You might be in Coles and see someone's favourite breakfast cereal. All those things are quite normal. The other thing that is quite normal is, and people say to me, I don't know why, I just keep wanting to contact my ex. I don't want to contact them, but I feel like I want to. Being creatures of habit, we like to do things that are familiar. And if you were contacting your ex-partner regularly during the day, those times of the day you're going to notice. Being drawn to contact them just to, hear their voice or to see what they're doing, just to do routine is also quite normal. So there is nothing abnormal about any of those things. That is all to be expected and all very common. So the other thing I will add as I go, I can see that there's people watching along. If there's any questions you have along the way, feel free to post questions. I'm happy to have a chat with you, and I can address things directly if you need, if you need something answered or you want something to discuss. If it's not appropriate in here, I can always private message you later, or I can always give you a ring. All right. So the next part of it is viewing separation as grief. Because really when we experience separation from someone, we suffer a grief. We struggle with grief and loss issues that happen. And we experience the waves of emotion that you would when you lose someone. So you've got these waves of emotions that are quite huge to start with, and then they do get less and further in between as time goes on. They don't necessarily stop. They may. It depends on the intensity, and it's different for everyone. But there is a change in those waves over time. It is really, it's okay to miss someone. It is normal to miss someone that you've enjoyed spending time with. That is also completely normal. And it's important that we acknowledge those feelings of missing someone, because that is a normal human response. You want to be able to miss people. It really acknowledges how important they were to you. That feelings, those feelings of hurt, those feelings of loss, those feelings of upset is all a normal process. To know that your feelings can't hurt you, not to be scared of those feelings, because those feelings can't hurt you. We don't want to be pushing them away. Feelings, if we start pushing feelings away, you really get into unhealthy, unhelpful behavior. That's where we're getting into things like, if we're pushing them away, we're trying to distract ourselves all the time, and you sort of end up trying to build a wall against a wave. Eventually, it can only go so high and the water will spill over the top. So the more we push away, drinking, alcohol, sleeping, all of those things, by trying to just push those feelings away, it doesn't actually allow that process to occur. So it is important to allow those feelings, to sit with those feelings. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to have those feelings that you feel. But we need to develop strategies for those feelings so that you don't feel overwhelmed. So what will help? Well, the first thing, obviously, not pushing those feelings away, not getting, not going out and partying all weekend and, losing time. That's not a particularly helpful way of dealing with those feelings. But lots of people do that. And, obviously it's important to be spending time with friends and doing those things, but we also don't want to get in the way of those feelings. So trying not to push. Sitting with is okay. Trying to sit with the feelings as they arrive, knowing that they're just going to come and visit for a while. They're going to come and sit. They're going to be with you for a little while, and then they're going to move on. So it's important to notice that they are transient. They're not going to sit with you forever and a day. They're just going to sit for a little while, and then they're going to move on. They might come for an hour or two and then pass. So it's important to know that those feelings, whilst they're big, they're transient too. When you're in the thick of it, you can think that they're there forever and it's never going to move on, but they do. The other thing is to use your supports. So using your supports to develop new behaviours, new plans, new daily routines. If you were calling your partner regularly, you might want to call a friend and ask how their day was, and develop new connections and new behaviours that's going to support you, rather than just constantly dredging up all of that upset. Using those supportive friends, family members, developing connections with people that you might have lost touch with, so that you can develop a new routine for your week. Those people might become really important for you as you're stepping through this process. Also, noticing your thoughts can be really important. But when you're noticing your thoughts, it's important. There's a difference between noticing a thought and drilling into a thought. We're going to have thoughts of your ex. That's going to happen. You're going to get thoughts. We can notice them and say, I've just had a thought. You can notice it a bit like a sticky note on a board. There's a difference between noticing and sitting there for half an hour drilling into why, what for, all the questions that come up with that, and you end up falling down the rabbit hole. If my phone, example would be, if my phone were to ring, it's very easy for me to notice it and come back to talking to you, versus, oh my goodness, who is it? When am I going to get back to them? I wonder if it's urgent, and really drilling into that thought. So it's important to be able to notice your thoughts and come back to what you're doing, what's in front of me, what's in my hands, and really just come back to the present moment and not allow yourself to drill into what's he doing, where are they, what is she, you know, all of those things. Just be able to, I noticed it, I don't need to drill into it. And using mindfulness, anybody that knows me or has seen my videos before, I'm very big on mindfulness because I think it's really helpful. Mindfulness, you can use a mindfulness technique to ground yourself into the present moment. If you're feeling particularly emotional, you might be in coals, to be able to ground yourself using those senses that got you unstable in the first place. What can I see? What can I hear? What can I touch? What can I smell? In that moment can be really grounding. To get yourself somewhere safe and to just do, 10 things you can see, 10 things you can hear, 10 things you can touch, as a way of just allowing yourself to get back into the moment. So that stops that thinking cycle. If you did get caught up in that thinking, or you've seen something that's upset you, you've heard something, to be able to take a deep breath. What can I see? What can I hear? What can I touch? Okay. Now, when to seek help? It's a really good question because a lot of people think, well, I've just separated, doesn't necessarily mean I need to see someone. And absolutely true. If you separated from someone 3 days ago, understandably, you're going to be in that washing machine with those huge waves crashing over. And it's just a matter of finding your feet again. It may not be that time. It may be that if you're starting to find yourself getting stuck and you just can't seem to get back on your feet, you're feeling stuck for a long period of time, or what feels uncomfortably long for you, absolutely, that might be a time to come and see someone about it. If you're not eating, if you're not sleeping, or you're not doing your daily things, your daily living stuff, you can't look after the house anymore, you're not doing the washing, you're not feeding yourself, you're not able to get to sleep, all of those things, you're not concentrating at work, you're not motivated anymore. All of those things are indicators that maybe it is time to have a chat with someone. It doesn't mean that you're crazy. It doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. It may just mean that for a short period of time, you just need a hand to talk it through to get you to the other side so that you're able to step forward and continue on your merry way. So people have a bit of a misconception that, I need treatment. It may just mean that you need a little bit of support to get you on your way again. And it doesn't mean it's long-term treatment for years and years and years, and there's nothing like that. It's more about just coming in for a short period of time until you're back on your feet. And then we say goodbye and wish you well. So that in a nutshell is what I think about separation, surviving separation. I hope there's some useful tips in there for you. You are welcome to share the video with friends or family, tag people that might need to hear this today. And you're welcome after the video to comment. Let me know what you think of the video. If there's anything that you want to comment on, ask questions, I'm happy to continue the dialogue later. So I wish you a wonderful day. I hope this has been useful for you. And you are welcome to get in touch with us either via private private messaging. You're also able to email, contact us at any time, or you can contact the clinic, RW Psychology. Call us through the Facebook page if you're wanting any more information. You're welcome to get in touch with us. I hope you have a fantastic day, and that's it from me. Bye for now.